Canadian Bulldog from Wrestling Merchandise and Memories, that's merchandiseandmemories.com, and with Saturday night's main event set to return next month, we've decided to count down the top 50 Saturday night's main event superstars. Saturday night's main event was at one time a staple of the wrestling fans' diet and often was the only quality matches that WWF fans would see in between pay-per-views. It was also the home of some of the biggest and most memorable angles. To be clear, this isn't about who the best wrestlers are. We're talking about which performers excelled throughout the history of the show and made the most of their primetime exposure, whether they were wrestlers, managers, or even announcers. And to clarify, we're including the original Saturday night's main event run on NBC, the main event specials, the brief time when the show aired on Fox, and yes, even the 2006 comeback period. In counting down the top 50 Saturday night's main event superstars, we looked at the following criteria. Did they make multiple appearances on the show? Were they generally part of top matches and angles? Did their appearances have a profound impact on wrestling history? And did Saturday night's main event enhance their overall persona? Just before we get started, wanted to let you know that Wrestling Merchandise and Memories has more than 100 unique and conversation-starting top 50 lists on its site. Check it out at bit.ly/top 50 lists. Number 50, Dangerous Danny Davis started out on Saturday night's main event as a controversial referee, constantly being criticized for his decisions by commentator Vince McMahon. Eventually, he turned full-out heel as part of the Hart Foundation and even struck out on his own once in a losing effort against Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Number 49, the Red Rooster, is one competitor that we kind of saw grow up on Saturday night's main event. First, he was there as a project of Bobby the Brain Heenan, and we watched the Rooster and Heenan argue en route to a loss against Tito Santana. Rooster got rid of the Brain and was later battling Heenan's new protege, the Brooklyn Brawler. Number 48, wrestling superstar Virgil was constantly in the corner of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase during Saturday night's main event, helping his boss get an unfair advantage over the likes of the Ultimate Warrior or attempting to pay off Dustin Rhodes to vacate his ringside seat. Virgil also wrestled once in a losing effort to Hercules. Number 47, Rick Martel was all over Saturday night's main event. He appeared as part of the Can-Am Connection and Strikeforce tag teams. Then in later years, he feuded with Tito Santana as the Model. Plus, they had a series of advertisement-style vignettes for his line of cologne known as Arrogance. Number 46, Batista was one of the most consistent WWE superstars when Saturday night's main event returned in 2006, appearing on 4 of the 5 return episodes. Interestingly, all of his appearances were tag team matches, teaming up with the likes of Bobby Lashley, Rey Mysterio, Chris Benoit, Kane, John Cena, and Crime Time. Number 45, WWE Hall of Famer Sergeant Slaughter returned to the WWF in 1990, and he used Saturday night's main event as a platform to display his new attitude. He faced off against the likes of Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Nikolai Volkov, all while hyping his eventual WrestleMania 7 showdown against Hulk Hogan. Number 44, Akeem the African Dream had one match on Saturday night's main event as his alter ego, the One Man Gang, but Akeem had 5 more, including the famous Mega Powers Twin Towers match in 1989, where Randy Savage turned on Hulk Hogan, as well as a match against his former tag team partner, the Big Boss Man. Number 43, adorable Adrian Adonis had a decent presence on Saturday night's main event, battling the likes of Junkyard Dog and Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff in early episodes. The adorable one then turned his attention to Rowdy Roddy Piper, defeating his archenemy by countout on the show, and then beginning the path for their iconic WrestleMania 3 encounter. Number 42, WWE Hall of Famer The Magnificent Morocco had more appearances on Saturday night's main event than one may think. Most famously, he battled Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship, a match that led to the Hulkster being attacked by King Kong Bundy. But the Magnificent One also faced Junkyard Dog, Ricky Steamboat, the Rebel Dick Slater, and the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Number 41, WWE Hall of Famer Nikolai Volkov had 9 matches on Saturday night's main event, clashing with the likes of Hulk Hogan and Koko Beware. Whether on his own or in tag team action with the Iron Sheik or Boris Zukov, Nikolai didn't seem to have many wins though, apart from a victory over Corporal Kirchner and a no contest with Sergeant Slaughter. Number 40, the Genius not only acted as an advisor for Mr. Perfect, but he was also a two-time Saturday Night's Main Event opponent of Hulk Hogan in one match, defeating the Hulkster by countout. And before that, as Leaping Lanny Poffo, he competed in a few Saturday Night's Main Event matches, most notably where he was nearly headbutted to death by an angry Andre the Giant during a battle royal. Number 39, WWE Hall of Famer Sensational Sherri never wrestled a match on Saturday Night's Main Event. However, she was still a highlight of the show, appearing mostly alongside Macho King Randy Savage as Sensational Queen Sherri in Causing Trouble. She was also in the corner of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase during one of his efforts against Bret the Hitman Hart. Number 38, WWE Hall of Famer The Iron Sheik was in the very first match of the very first Saturday Night's Main Event as part of a 6-man tag team match. He's also battled the likes of Rowdy Roddy Piper, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and the British Bulldogs, plus he dressed up once as Batman for the Halloween episode, so there's that. Number 37, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. Fuji has represented a wide range of wrestlers on Saturday Night's Main Event, including the Magnificent Morocco, Demolition, Sika, and even the mysterious Super Ninja. The Devious One also wrestled twice on the show against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the team of Steamboat and the Junkyard Dog. Number 36, WWE Hall of Famer Greg the Hammer Valentine started out as a WWF Tag Team Champion early in the show's run, but later became a utility player, mostly there to lay down for the likes of Hulk Hogan, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Superfly Jimmy Snuka. However, the Hammer did score a singles victory on the show over Koko Beware. Number 35, Haku was kind of an unheralded staple of the Saturday Night's Main Event years. While he only won one match among 7 appearances, which was a tag team match against the Killer Bees, he was a warm-up opponent in losing efforts against future Hall of Famers such as Hulk Hogan, Rowdy Roddy Piper, The Ultimate Warrior, and the Texas Tornado. Number 34, Slick, the Doctor of Style, was a manager whose career evolved over the period of Saturday Night's Main Event. Among the talent he managed were the Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, Boris Zukov, Rick Martel, Big Boss Man, and the One Man Gang / Akeem. Number 33, the Brainbusters, WWE Hall of Famers Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, showed us the rise and fall of their WWF team on Saturday Night's Main Event. They first defeated the Rockers, and then feuded and won the Tag Team Championship against Demolition, and then were fired by Bobby Heenan after failing to listen to him in a rematch against the Rockers. Number 32, WWE Hall of Famer Captain Lou Albano was all over the early editions of Saturday Night's Main Event, managing the US Express and the British Bulldogs. He also represented George the Animal Steele and Andre the Giant in several outings, and, this is important, he defeated King Kong Bundy in a pie eating contest. Number 31, WWE Hall of Famer Ravishing Rick Rude had 6 different matches on Saturday Night's Main Event against legends such as Hacksaw Jim Duggan, The Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts, Koko Beware, and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Number 30, WWE Hall of Famer Davey Boy Smith began his run on Saturday Night's Main Event as one half of the British Bulldogs, no relation to yours truly, and then later returned as a single star. He came close to winning a 1991 Battle Royal, which was won by Mr. Perfect, and later he dropped the Intercontinental title to Shawn Michaels. Number 29, WWE Hall of Famer George the Animal Steele began his run on the show as a heel, teaming with the likes of the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. Later, he would compete against Macho Man Randy Savage for the affections of Miss Elizabeth an amazing 4 different times on Saturday Night's Main Event, which definitely has to be some sort of show record. Number 28, WWE Hall of Famer Paul Orndorff was on the very first Saturday Night's Main Event in a non-wrestling role. But perhaps Mr. Wonderful's most famous moment on the show was a steel cage match with WWF champion Hulk Hogan, where both men appeared to exit the cage at the exact same time, prompting slow-mo video footage to be shown. Number 27, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. Perfect began building his name on Saturday night's main event against the likes of the Red Rooster and Coco Beware, progressing to the Intercontinental title and then challenging WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan. Famously, he and the Genius once destroyed Hogan's title with a hammer. Number 26, WWE Hall of Famer The Junkyard Dog was a staple of the early Saturday night's main event shows, having featured matches on 6 of the first 10 episodes. Among JYD's victims were adorable Adrian Adonis, the Funk Brothers, and King Harley Race. He also teamed up with Hulk Hogan and Ricky Steamboat and dedicated one Mother's Day edition match to his mom, Bertha. Number 25, King Kong Bundy's career was literally made on an episode of Saturday Night's Main Event in 1986 when he attacked Hulk Hogan following a match with the Magnificent Morocco and injured the Hulkster's ribs. Beyond that, Bundy took on the likes of Hogan, Andre the Giant, Uncle Elmer, and Jake the Snake Roberts. Number 24, John Cena was more or less Hulk Hogan for the 2006 run of Saturday Night's Main Event. He was in 5 of the top matches during the show's 5-episode revival, facing the likes of the Great Khali, Edge, Randy Orton, Carlito, and John Bradshaw Layfield in both singles and tag team matches. Number 23, WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan spent most of its time on Saturday Night's Main Event defending the USA from foreign threats, including the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, Boris Zukov, and Sergeant Slaughter. He also battled Randy Savage and Ravishing Rick Rude in singles matches. Number 22, WWE Hall of Famer Ricky the Dragon Steamboat became a sympathetic character on Saturday Night's Main Event as he fought overwhelming odds against the likes of the Magnificent Morocco and Jake the Snake Roberts. His feud against Macho Man Randy Savage was played out here too, as he returned from injury to assist George the Animal Steele. Number 21, WWE Hall of Famer The Honky Tonk Man was billed as the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time and had several big Saturday Night's Main Event moments. He dressed up as Kimchi in order to mess with Jake the Snake Roberts, he shoved Miss Elizabeth and nailed Randy Savage with a vicious guitar shot, and he challenged the Ultimate Warrior for the Intercontinental title as well as Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship. Number 20, WWE Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund had numerous contributions to Saturday Night's Main Event. His iconic pre- and post-match interviews with the likes of Hulk Hogan, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Macho Man Randy Savage stand the test of time, and he was center ring the night Andre the Giant surrendered the WWF World Championship. Number 19, WWE Hall of Famer Big Boss Man started out as a mid-card competitor on Saturday Night's Main Event, squashing the likes of Jim Powers. Later, he took Hulk Hogan to the limit in a steel cage match and attempted to dismantle the Mega Powers along with Akeem. He eventually opposed his Twin Towers partner in a 1990 episode of the show. Number 18, Demolition, the team of Axe, Smash, and sometimes Crush, had 7 appearances during the Saturday Night's Main Event era. Among the matches, they tangled with the Rockers, the British Bulldogs, the Hart Foundation, the Brainbusters, the Legion of Doom, and the Ultimate Warrior. Number 17, WWE Hall of Famer Jesse the Body Ventura was for many wrestling fans one of the top voices of Saturday Night's Main Event. His constant put-downs of his fellow announcers, as well as Hulk Hogan, the Hillbillies, and others, were constant highlights of the show. And during one episode, he participated in a tag team match with Rowdy Roddy Piper and Cowboy Bob Orton. Number 16, Hercules had almost all of his biggest WWF moments on Saturday Night's Main Event. He won a Battle Royal in 1987 that had everyone from Hulk Hogan to Andre the Giant. He challenged Ricky Steamboat for the Intercontinental title. And for a few moments, it looked like he defeated Hulk Hogan by submission. Number 15, WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana lost on Saturday nights far more than he won, but he still faced a wide range of opponents over the years, including the Hart Foundation, Mr. Perfect, the Bolsheviks, the Red Rooster, Rick Martel, and Macho Man Randy Savage. Number 14, WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels is the only wrestler to be featured in both the original and the renewed versions of Saturday Night's Main Event. He teamed up with Marty Jannetty as the Rockers, and as a singles competitor won the Intercontinental title, and then in 2006, he battled Shane McMahon and the Spirit Squad. Number 13, WWE Hall of Famer Brutus the Barber Beefcake made nearly a dozen appearances on Saturday Night's Main Event. He started off as a member of the Dream Team, then ended up facing off against his former Dream Team partner Greg the Hammer Valentine. He shaved the head of Outlaw Ron Bass and was in the corner of his friend Hulk Hogan. Number 12, WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts started on Saturday Night's Main Event as a vicious heel, DDTing Ricky Steamboat on the concrete floor. Soon he was matched against fellow rule breakers such as Randy Savage and King Kong Bundy before turning into a babyface and again turning heel towards the end of the show's initial run. Number 11, Vince McMahon's over-the-top introductions and commentary were definitely a little on the cheesy side, but by the same token, Vinnie Mac helped shape what we watched every single episode, breaking down every character, rivalry, and storyline, and later in the second run, becoming the heel Mr. McMahon character. Number 10, WWE Hall of Famer Rowdy Roddy Piper was originally cast as Saturday Night's Main Event's top villain as he terrorized Hulk Hogan in the corner of Cowboy Bob Orton. However, he'd later save Hogan from an attack by Paul Orndorff and Adrian Adonis, and years later defended his newly won Intercontinental title against the Mountie. Number 9, WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Hart appeared on Saturday Night's Main Event more than any other manager, and more than most wrestlers, in fact. Among the charges the Mouth of the South managed were the Honky Tonk Man, the Hart Foundation, Dangerous Danny Davis, Terry Funk, Adrian Adonis, Earthquake, and the Fabulous Rougeau Brothers. Number 8, WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hitman Hart spent much of his Saturday Night's Main Event career as a tag team specialist along with Jim the Anvil Neidhart as they pursued and lost the tag team titles. But eventually, Bret became a top singles star, facing the likes of Macho Man Randy Savage, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, and Papa Shango. Number 7, Miss Elizabeth was actually one of the top stars throughout the history of Saturday Night's Main Event, even though she only managed two people, Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. She was fought over, defended, shoved to the ground, and almost bludgeoned by a chair once, all while announcers Vince McMahon and Mean Gene Okerlund sung her praises. Number 6, WWE Hall of Famer the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase was a top villain during the Saturday Night's Main Event years. Who can forget how he paid off Earl Hebner to help Andre the Giant capture the WWF World title in 1988? Or how about his conflicts with the likes of Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, Dusty Rhodes, Randy Savage, Bret Hart, and Hercules? Number 5, WWE Hall of Famer Bobby the Brain Heenan appeared on most episodes of the initial Saturday Night's Main Event run, either as a manager or a commentator, and he excelled at both. His Heenan family members were all over the show, often in direct opposition to Hulk Hogan. And how many times did the Brain get barred to the back? Number 4, WWE Hall of Famer The Ultimate Warrior was brought in the early 1990s to effectively replace Hulk Hogan. And while that never quite happened, The Ultimate Warrior had 11 matches on the show, facing off against the likes of the Super Ninja, Honky Tonk Man, Haku, Andre the Giant, Ravishing Rick Rude, Demolition, and Money Inc. Number 3, WWE Hall of Famer Andre the Giant always managed to convey his larger-than-life persona on Saturday Night's Main Event, including his first appearance, a random tag team match with Tony Atlas, to his last match against the Ultimate Warrior. And let's not forget that he defeated Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship in 1988 on the Main Event, in an era where the Hulkster rarely lost. Number 2, WWE Hall of Famer Macho Man Randy Savage had an incredible 21 matches on Saturday Night's Main Event, defending his Intercontinental title against the likes of Tito Santana and George the Animal Steele, and the World title against the likes of Ted DiBiase, the One Man Gang, and Andre the Giant. He was even knocked out by James Buster Douglas in one match. And the number 1 Saturday Night's Main Event superstar is WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan. He's the last person you see in the show's opening credits, and he's headlined almost all of the Saturday Night's Main Event episodes in its first run, so his position here is a no-brainer. Opponents over the years included Bad News Brown, Haku, Terry Funk, the Honky Tonk Man, Ted DiBiase, the Big Boss Man, Andre the Giant, Mr. Perfect, Paul Orndorff, and many more. So, what did you think? Which names did we misplace? Which names did we miss? Let us know in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up and like this video, and subscribe to Wrestling Merchandise and Memories for lots more great content.